Hey there, I'm here with Theotis Porter. He's the coach for the Smithfield High School boys basketball team. Theotis, thanks for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about yourself? How long have you been at school?
Well, I've been here, this was my third year in Smithfield. I spent 13 years at Kingsport High School prior to coming here. And, from Suffolk, Virginia. Very fond of Smithfield. I had a lot of relatives out here. So, it was kind of a natural transition once I got here.
Good. Well, one of your sophomores, Troy Giles, he said in a video that from the moment you got here, you had a vision for winning the state championship. Tell us about your vision.
It's funny, with the vision thing, it's hard for some people to understand, when someone said they have a vision or something, because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like, in my mind, I could see certain things before they happen in a sense. And once I got here, I saw the pieces that was in place. I saw the kids. I saw the type of support they had. And I just said it's just a matter of time. If I could get these guys to buy into my way of thinking, understanding that nothing's going to be given, you're going to have to work for it. And if you continue to work, get 1% better each day, we'll be where we need to be when we need to be there. And that's kind of like what happened. I saw, like I said, a young core group of kids that was actually JV kids at the time. And I could see then that they had some potential. I just said if I could just get them to work out and keep developing, we'll be in the running by the time they're juniors and seniors. And that's exactly what happened. Last year was their junior year. We were 21-3, one game away from state. And I really feel if we didn't have such a bad game that one particular game, we might be talking back to back right now. It'd be two of these on the table. But unfortunately, we laid an egg that night. But we used that night as motivation. We worked tirelessly throughout the off season, day in, day out. I always kept telling them about the game that they lost and holding that over their head, like whenever they thought they were doing something real good. And I was like, you're good, but you still got this over your head. So I said, the only way to erase it is to win it all. So they bought in and worked hard, and yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Right on.
Yeah.
And there you are. Show us your ring there. Like that's a fat old championship ring there.
Yeah. A lot of hard work went into it. So I definitely appreciate, the school and the community rallying behind us and allowing us to have some fruits of our labor.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Before we get to the championship here, first we got to go through a tough season. Yeah. And COVID threw a wrench in the works. Tell us about this season.
Whew, man, COVID. It was extremely tough for COVID situation. For starters, we didn't even know we was going to have a season. We just, like I told the kids, I said, we're going to prepare for a season, whether it happen or not. That way, if it does happen, we're prepared. If it doesn't, you're just in great shape. So we set out to do a lot of off-site practicing because we couldn't use the facilities at our school due to COVID. Everything was shut down, all the YMCAs and things like that. I even reached out to you guys.
Yes, I'm still so sorry. Yeah. We couldn't use ours was closed as well.
Yeah, and I understood.
And you're not the only group who said no to.
Yeah, and I understood. Yeah. So what we ended up doing, we spent a lot of days going to. At first, we were going to Nike Park. Then we had some issues with that. They wouldn't let us come out there and say there was too many people as a group. So we ended up shooting that down. Then we ended up starting to do beach workouts. We went to Huntington Beach. We did a lot of beach workouts, running in the sand, footwork drills in the sand, did some plyometrics in the water, stuff like that. And then we was lucky enough to run across one church that actually had an outdoor court, which is Gravel Hill. And we talked to them, and they said, you could use the campus. Just make sure you clean up, go through your mitigation and everything. So they blessed us with their court, and we was able to go out there, 2 or 3 times a week. And we was able to, kind of keep the kids on top of their craft. And then once the COVID restrictions kind of loosened up a little bit, and we was able to come back in the gym, we wasn't starting from scratch. We had like a head start, and that kind of helped us on our road to, getting to where we had to go. But beyond just the basketball side, we had a lot of personal struggles with the COVID thing. We had a couple kids that didn't play because of COVID. We had several kids that didn't play. I know my JV group, we had like 17 kids on the roster, and we had, I think, 10 or less than 10 by the end of the season because kids that was dropping off due to COVID situations. And then on my side of things, personally, I had some personal issues with it because I lost 2 relatives to COVID. I caught COVID, my wife caught it, my son caught it twice. And then I lost 2 uncles to COVID, one that was really close to me, one that was more distant. So it definitely impacted us heavily. And like I told the guys, like enter every practice, sanitize, be safe, wear your mask, social distance, protect yourself, protect your family. We trying to make it through this thing safe and make sure I want everybody to be able to celebrate this at the end. I don't want to have, us get far or get halfway there and we had to pull the plug because guys are not being smart. So we was very strenuous on the mitigation. We was we said extra when it came to the amount of sanitizing we did. Anytime we switched to drill, water break, we any stoppage of plays, we was squirting hands and just you were husky all the time because you always putting sanitizer on. But it paid off. I mean, the guys all got through healthy. Nobody families got sick during the season. Like I said, all of our actual COVID situations happened really prior to the season. I want to say end of December, early January. We started the 25th of January. So we were lucky that when the COVID hit us as a team, it hit us before we was back together. So we ended up having Isle of Wight put in a self-imposed pause, and that was coming off of the Christmas break. I thought it was genius because had we not did that pause, we want to finish the season because this was before anybody had COVID in our program. So they put in a self-imposed pause and saying, okay, 2 weeks after you return from the Christmas break, we're gonna stay out and then we'll come back after that. And it just happened that some of us ended up getting COVID right around Christmas, right after Christmas. So that break gave us time to recover, and everybody tested negative. I made sure everybody went and took tests, even though it wasn't required. Yeah. I still just wanted to be safe and make sure everybody else was safe. I'm asymptomatic, so I didn't want to take a risk of myself or any of my staff or players. So I just made sure we all did that, and everything worked out.
Yeah.
Yes,
wow, that's a tough season.
Yeah, very
personal
very.
And with the team, with COVID, everything. But you made it through the season.
Yes, sir.
And you did pretty well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Undefeated, right?
Yes, sir.
Undefeated.
Yes, sir.
And then you got to this point, and that buzzer went off. The final buzzer, you won by 7 points. I want to know, did you cry?
That's $1 million question everybody asks. Actually, I didn't. Because this is actually my second state championship. I won one in 2009 with Kings Fork, which was our first. We were 31-1 that year, 35th in the nation by ESPN. And we had several kids that were Division I prospects on that team. So, a lot of people said that one came rather easy, but it didn't. We was actually getting whooped in that game and came back and won by, I think it was 4, which was kind of similar to this one. But no, I didn't cry. I did reflect a lot. Yeah. Because like I said, the hurdles we had to overcome throughout that season, it was, like I said, the uncertainty that we were facing with, again, just things along the way getting to that point. But it was definitely a lot of reflection, mixed emotions. I might have wanted to cry, but it just didn't really
You're
come
caught
out.
up in that moment.
Yeah, it was just kind of like soaking it all up, and just the realization of, man, we actually did this. We talked about it, we dreamed about it, we worked hard, we talked to the kids about it all the time, and we actually was able to overcome all the hurdles, including COVID, to actually make it happen on someone else's floor who was also undefeated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just, I don't know, it was this kind of surreal moment. Yeah, so, but nah, I didn't cry.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Not only the team won, you won the Class 4 State Coach of the Year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Amazing season. It almost didn't happen, though. This almost didn't happen because you were down by 7 at halftime.
Yeah.
And so here's the money question for us. What did you tell your team at halftime? What did you do to motivate them?
Well, truthfully, a lot of people wondered that. I know my AD, he said I must have made the kids swear to secrecy or something, because like, there's no way coach came in there calm and y'all down. But actually I did, because my thought process in that moment, you know, I talked to the coaches prior to walking in the locker room with the kids, and usually the kids talk to each other while we're not in there. So we took, you know, about 2 minutes and we talked as coaches, and I told them, you know, what my thoughts were. So they was like, all right, go for it. So when we walked in the locker room, I was very calm and composed, because my thought was, if I'm panicking, they're gonna panic. So I wanted them to know that I was comfortable and we were fine. Like, yes, we were down, but we didn't play a great first half. We played a horrible first half, actually, and we were only down 7 points. And I was like, they hit us with their best shot. Their best shooter was scoring. They was, you know, energetic and rah-rah and all that. And I was just like, guys, like, we're fine. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like I said, they came out, they hitting threes and getting and ones and slapping the floor and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know, if y'all, that's y'all best shot and y'all got us down 7 and we haven't even woke up yet, we'll be fine.
But watch out.
Yep. So once I got in, I told them, I said, okay, we down 7. That was their best shot. Now they're getting to see what we about, and we're gonna change a few things, and this is what we're gonna do. So what we ended up doing, I say, you know, they got one kid that ended up being a state player of the year, very good kid. I told him, I said, you know, we're gonna box and want him. Like, we're not gonna let him beat us. We're gonna make somebody else beat us. So we're gonna dedicate one kid to him, and if he gets tired, we'll put another kid in that spot and dedicate him to him, and everybody else is gonna basically help him defend that one guy, make those other guys do something. So that's what the plan was, and I did it in a different way. Instead of a traditional box, I just shifted it so it didn't look like a box one. It looked like we were playing some type of zone, but it was really a box one. It's just I shifted it a little bit, and we ran it a different way than they probably ever seen anybody run it. And it was very effective. And once we, like I told them also at halftime, I said, you know, we get the ball first, I believe, coming in the second half. And I was like, okay, we're down 7. The goal is to cut that lead in half in the first 4 minutes. Once we cut it in half, it's a new ball game. It's like a 1 or 2 possession game at that point. We're going to be fine, because we're going to win these next 2 quarters. I know that. You know what I mean? We worked too hard not to. So once we came out and we cut the lead down, like, immediately, you could see their eyes getting big, and they were like, oh man, you know, and our guys started getting, you know, exuberant and everything. And once the momentum shifted, it was over, because my guys just kind of, they smelled the blood in the water, so to speak, and they just started being extra aggressive and finishing, and the emotion started coming out. And once they got behind in their gym, they kind of thought, I guess, I want to say they kind of thought about all the stuff they heard about us as far as how we play, how aggressive we are. And that truthfully came from the lumps we took the year prior in the off season and stuff against the 757's best. We took a lot of, you know, lumps along the way, and those losses prepared us for those type of moments. And that's why I used to always tell those kids then, these are teachable moments. All season basketball games, that's nothing but ego. You winning, you know, plaques at Boo Williams and, you know, medals and stuff for AAU. That stuff don't mean nothing. You know, you know, you don't wear your medal out in the public. You don't take the plaque around. But state championship trophies, state championship rings, these are forever. That picture that's gonna be in the gym, that's forever. And that's a legacy that no one can take away from you. And I was like, that's what we're working for. And like I said, once we got to that fourth quarter, kids were just all in. They was like, Coach, I'm willing to run through the wall if that's what it takes for us to get this win. And whoever I put out there, they gave us everything they had, the moments they was out there, and it paid dividends.
Yeah, one of your seniors said, we're legends.
Yeah.
And so they ran with the vision you had.
Yeah.
You saw something, and then we could win this whole thing.
Definitely.
So, Theotis, congratulations.
Appreciate that.
And then thanks for sitting down with us, talking about the state championship.
Absolutely.
And you're winning the Coach of the Year.
Yes, sir.
And I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.